Let's talk about 5 weight loss myths that need to die. On that 80-pound weight loss journey, I started to understand that there were some things that I had always believed about weight loss that really weren't true. And in this video, I'm just going to take you through the 5 worst myths that I believed that kept me from losing weight. Myth number 1, 95% of the people who lose weight gain it all back again. Now, to me, this is the most pernicious myth because you see it all the time in all these articles about weight loss. They will automatically say 95% of the people, who lose weight gain it all back again, as if weight loss is just kind of this fruitless endeavor that we sometimes embark upon. The problem is this statistic came from one study done of just 100 obese people back in 1959. Basically, they gave them a diet, they lost a little bit of weight, and then they sent them on their way. And then they followed up with them later on, and 95% of those people had regain the weight. But the picture is actually a lot more positive than this. If you really dig into the research, you'll see that scientists freely admit they really don't know what percentage of people who lose weight actually keep it off. And the reason for this is because there are so many people out there who are, they're just going about their lives, they've gained weight, and then they lose weight, and nobody ever knows about it. No scientist ever knows that that actually happened. The thing is, the people who are selected to be part of these studies, a lot of times they are the most severe of the severe cases. They're the people who have tried so many other things, and, so there is obviously going to be a higher failure rate. The trouble is that when people hear this figure over and over and over again, like I did, you get to thinking, well, why am I even trying to lose weight? Because it's inevitable. Everybody always gains all the weight back. So why am I even trying? And since weight loss is such a mental game, this is a really important thing to understand, that you can lose the weight and you can keep it off. And this was a belief that I had to actively change for myself because, I had it in my head, well, yeah, it's like every other time that I've lost weight, I'm just going to gain it all back. And that's what happens to everybody. So, I'm like everybody else. But as I approached my goal weight, I started to change my belief. I started to say, you know what? No, weight loss is a simple cause and effect relationship. If I eat less, I will lose weight. And all I have to do is just continue to eat the way I've been eating. If I go back to doing those things that I was doing before, I will go back to weighing what I used to weigh. And by believing that I really could keep it off, things changed for me this time. I actually have kept it off. And I'm not the only one. In fact, the National Weight Control Registry is trying to do a better job of studying how do just normal everyday folks lose weight and keep it off, and how successful are they? So what they found was the average amount of weight loss for the people in the registry was 66 pounds, and the people have kept it off for 5.5 years on average. I joined this registry a year or so ago, just so, I could put my information out there. It's totally free. This is just about, trying to help scientists understand weight loss better. So when you get down to your goal weight, if you'd like to check that out, you can check out the link in the description. The main thing to remember about all this is that weight gain is not inevitable. It's just about continuing to do those actions that got the weight off in the first place. Myth number 2, you have to change the foods you're eating in order to lose weight. I know for me, certainly, I thought for the longest time that successful weight loss, really when it came down to it, was forcing yourself to eat the food you hated and not letting yourself eat the foods you love. And that never worked for me. I could do it in the short term. I could stop eating bread, or I could stop eating pasta, and I could go low carb for a little while. But eventually I would go back to eating the foods I love. And what I found for myself was, it's not just about the eating. I mean, this is about a cultural thing. The people that you're around all the time, they eat, certain foods, and to try to cut yourself off from these things, it's not sustainable for most people. It certainly wasn't for me. But I had it in my head that there was no way I could lose weight unless I somehow, did an overhaul of my eating. But this time I just became stubborn. I was like, I'm going to figure out how to lose weight and continue to eat all this food I love. I mean, I'm a Southerner. I love to eat Southern food. I love Julia Child and her philosophy on food. I love butter and I love cream and I love bread and I love pasta. And I need to learn how to eat the appropriate amount so that I can get down to a healthy weight and maintain that. And the wild thing was that this time when I actually told myself, look, everything is on the menu. You have no forbidden foods. You don't need to try to eat low carb. You don't need to even try to eat low fat or anything. Just eat the foods you love and just try to eat the right amount. I lost weight and I've kept it off. And I wish more people could understand this because I think it holds so many people back. They have it in their head like, well, I would love to lose weight, but I really like to eat ice cream, or I want my Ben and Jerry's at night, or I want to have popcorn when I go to the movies, or I like going to McDonald's, or whatever the thing is. The truth is people lose weight eating all different kinds of foods. There are people who have lost weight on eating nothing but McDonald's. There are people who have lost weight just eating junk food only. And the thing is, it all works. It's just a matter of getting yourself to eat the appropriate amount of food. Myth number 3, you have to exercise in order to lose weight. Now, this one really trips a lot of people up because, they just think, well, if I just had the time to exercise, then, I would lose weight, but I can't, I don't have, my schedule is just too crammed full, so I can't lose weight. But the truth is, plenty of people have lost weight without doing any exercise. And in fact, in my own experience, I thought working out really, really hard was going to be the thing that would take the weight off my body. But what I found was when I was working out really, really hard and doing really intense exercises, my appetite was through the roof. And so it made it very difficult to eat the appropriate amount. And another thing that happens is that you can vastly overestimate how many calories you're burning. So you feel entitled to, eat more than you really should. And these things just make it harder to lose weight. Now, I will say this, that I found my 6-mile walk really did put me in the right mental space. It helped me to be able to have something to do with myself when I felt like stress eating. I feel like it really did help me to lose weight, but I certainly feel like I could have, done it another way without doing any exercise. Like if I hadn't had those 2 hours a day to go for my walk, I think, if I had just learned different ways to deal with the stress and the stress eating, I still could have had the same results. So if you have a schedule that's crammed full, don't let that hold you back from changing the eating side of the equation, which is really the most important side to change. Myth number 4, weight loss is linear. This is something that I really had in my head. I really thought for a long time, the scale will tell you every day if what you did the day before was the right thing. So if the scale's down, that means, okay, you did the right thing. If the scale's up, it means you screwed up. And that's just how it goes. So many times I gave up on weight loss because I would, be feeling I was doing the right things, and then the scale would go up and I'd think, well, forget it. That's it. It's just impossible to lose weight. But what I learned this time is weight loss is really like a heartbeat. Your weight fluctuates up and down, kind of independent from your day-to-day actions. And what I mean by that is that, you might have a day where you eat the right amount of food, you are doing all the things right, and the next day the scale goes up a little bit. And then, on a different day, maybe you overeat by a lot, and the next day the scale's down, and you can really get the wrong message by looking at the day-to-day scale and basing your progress on that. The truth is, a successful weight loss journey looks like a heartbeat, and the weight goes up and down and up and down, and just over time, it trends downward to your goal weight. Men tend to have fewer fluctuations here, but still it does happen. Water weight comes on and goes off depending on like how salty and sweet your foods are that you're eating. So just know that it's not a straight line down. Myth number 5, weight loss is really complicated. What I found at the end of the day was just a simple truth. If the scale's not moving down, I'm eating too much. Now that's a hard pill to swallow, and I resisted it for so long, even though there are things that do make this more complicated, because sometimes it can be really difficult to know, why are you eating more than you need to? Or, it may not even really feel like you're eating more than you need to. If your weight is trending up, it does mean that you are eating too many calories for what your body needs. And the very simple solution is to eat less. But what I found was that if I always just kept that very simple principle in my head, things went so much more smoothly to me. And on the other hand, when I tried to say, well, no, it's really complicated, that's when I really struggled. So I hope that this video lays those myths to rest. And I hope you found it helpful for your weight loss journey. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.